All right, welcome back. We continue with the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown talking. We'll continue the quarterback. Then I want to get into running backs. But, Andrew and Jason, as you were saying before the break here, the quarterback situation, the best option is what? I mean, people are going to look at this and say there has to be a better option. But I understand what Andrew's saying, too. We've seen all three here in action. Does a change for a change work?
Well,
you need a spark. You need to do something.
Before we get to Jason's point, what irks me about situations like this is people will bring up something that happened 50 years ago as some guiding light for how Kenny could rebound. I don't care that Terry Bradshaw got yanked out for Terry Hanratty or Joe Gilliam. We know that the NFL of 1974 isn't applicable to today. We see now with second-year guys, if you bench them, especially for who we're talking about here, Mitch Trubisky's already failed with one team, and Mason Rudolph, who was offered up to the entire league this offseason as a free agent, and not one team wanted to sign him as a backup. So I know Kenny's playing like garbage, but if you bench him for one of those two guys, for me, his career in Pittsburgh is over. He's a backup quarterback for you for the duration of his career, and you're going into the offseason either finding somebody in a trade, free agency, or the draft again.
So they should draft a quarterback anyway.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if you want to go to Mitch Trubisky or Mason Rudolph, remember that that's what you're doing. He's not coming back from this.
You act like he's going out there throwing for 300 yards and he's not coming back.
No, I'm just saying.
He's not coming back from what? Stinking, Andrew.
Right.
Okay, I'm just saying.
My scenario for benching Pickett would be
it's
that
a
he
nuclear
stinks.
option.
It's not a nuclear option. It's trying to win the football game.
Give me an example of a first round. So what you're saying his career's done, though, if you.
No, I didn't say his
Well, then
career's
who's
done.
done? So then,
I'm saying if they're
so
playing.
then what young quarterbacks come back from this?
Can I give you? Well,
who does?
Not even be done.
Who comes back from that, from getting benched?
Well, someone who has thick skin and knows how it works.
And you think he does if he gets benched in this situation?
If he doesn't, then he's
Andrew,
not the person you
here's
thought.
the scenario that I think we're concocting.
My God.
Let's go halftime at Cincinnati. They're not moving the ball, but they're still within a touchdown because they probably will be. They're trying to win the game. If Pickett is doing nothing and they sit him down in favor of Mitch Trubisky, you're telling me that ends his career?
Pretty much.
That's a little bit extreme. It might just be
why
trying to win
because
the
to
game.
Colin's point, because if he's so bad, he needs to get benched in Week 12 for Mitch Trubisky. He isn't a good quarterback.
Well, he's
period.
Not.
Okay.
Right now, he has not been. That doesn't mean he can't develop
rebound
into one or something.
I mean, so what? If it's just a couple of games for the sake of the team, if you knew.
You think if he gets benched, he's going to come back and be a good quarterback a year from now?
No, I don't think he's a good quarterback
you think,
now or in a
I
year.
think it's possible.
But why
yes,
did I need to fight a fight to
do.
think he's a good quarterback? Like, I don't care. I thought we were talking about Jalen Warren.
We are, but this is too good to pass up. It's called sauce.
Okay, but
like
again,
Gardner.
so if you go to Mitch Trubisky, your goal is, as Colin is, mock them.
If you go to Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett's going to retire.
You keep speaking for everyone.
No, okay, tell me if I'm wrong about this.
I'm just trying to put the best 22 players on the field.
Okay, if they go to Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph, what's their end game?
To try to win.
To win 9 games and get your barn doors blown off?
Bro. You got to try to it's just
You're just trying to survive each week.
Right, and you're trying to send a spark. If it takes a quarterback change, not like a goalie change in hockey, sometimes
Wait a minute. You've crushed them. Survive each week. You've said countless times, look at the big picture.
Correct.
And not the micro. And
Correct.
now you say survive each week?
Because surviving each week can get you to a point where you might win a playoff game. You have to put your best 22 on the field right now, and Kenny Pickett is not your best 22.
And you think they can win a playoff game with Mason Rudolph?
Right now, if I had a playoff game, and today was a playoff game.
You're not going to get to a playoff game with him.
If I had a playoff game, I would take my chances that he would give you as good a shot, if not better, than Kenny Pickett. Stop with this Kenny Pickett.
Let me go to another level.
Truther stuff.
I just blamed him for what the hell are you talking about? I just blamed him for losing the game today, and now I'm a truther? I'm just saying I have no confidence in his backup.
You're saying you would ride him out no matter what.
Yes, and then maybe he stinks so bad that you get further up in the draft order.
All right. What about Jalen Warren?
No, wait. I'm going to get to that next segment because we've gone too long in this segment. But to put a
get
wrap
a hold
on
of this show, Bob.
How? It's become the shout fest, you know. So and that's fine. I like the energy. That's good. But how about Matt Canada in this? All of a sudden, you can put a Twitter poll out and say who's to blame, and his name won't be mentioned. Not nearly as much as Kenny Pickett or Mike Tomlin. So what about the play calling in and of it? Is this just the play calling, or is he not recognizing receivers still? Because I hear that all the time from Chris Hoke, that he says he's missing receivers. If he's missing receivers, he's not doing his job. Or is this his play calling designed to keep it out of harm's way? In other words, don't make an interception, so go to the outside.
I mean, I think it's either or. right? Like, he's missing receivers. That's obviously not helping things, but come on. There's a more creative way to design this offense to get guys involved over the middle, get the ball to other people.
Yes.
I think it's both.
I agree with that.
I think it's both. But, I mean, the more long-term, or the bigger long-term problem is clearly Kenny Pickett, right? Like, do we really think that Matt Canada is going to be here beyond this year?
we don't.
I mean, come on. But
I was a big fan of the
Can you evaluate Kenny Pickett with a new offensive coordinator, though? Maybe it's a better system that he thrives in. If you listen
that's
to his
why I'm
answer
saying that we
after the
can't.
game,
If he's benched at halftime of the Cincinnati game,
he said we have to
determination on his
adjust
future.
better too. I don't know what that means. You can translate all. Anyway, we got to take a break. Ran over again. Sorry about that. We are going through stop signs like the third base coach of the Pirates. We're just ignoring them all. Anyway, we got to take a break. We'll come back and talk about the running back stuff and more next.